Hey everyone, and welcome to this week's update for the Turf Battles Triumphus project. Um, Thank you all for being patient with us last week. I'm finally moved into my new house. Everything's pretty much unpacked and all that stuff, so we've spent some more time on the server adding new content. This week's update you'll probably find interesting. Um, I know we were really excited about it because it's a huge part of how the game works and things like that. Um, we thought that this week we would start off by having a little fight with some low level gear, which is a full +1 set. Um, I think I'm gonna win. Scotty's on an archer, so who knows. We've also adjusted the rates for mana barrier. Now a full level 10 mana barrier will reduce damage taken by 60%. We've also increased the base health of mages, archers, and blue mages. It was a bit low. Now for every vitality point, a mage or a red mage will gain 10 health, as opposed to an archer, which will gain 15 per vitality. So yeah, we're gonna go ahead and first do the fight. I'm gonna go ahead and trans up and everything, and use my buffs, and then after that we're gonna go ahead and show you guys the new content, which I found pretty interesting, so hopefully you guys will too. Right, that's my buff. So, let's find out if Scotty's ready. So let's go. Oops, I went outside of soccer. Ah, he blinded me. The jerk. Oh god, I almost died there. I need Marvs. My mana keeps getting drained. Ah. Well, that was interesting. My mana was going down really fast there. Let's rebuff, and this time I'll kick his ass. This would be a lot easier with Marvelous Potions, but let's try and keep it classic. Yeah, that's right. So yeah, keep in mind these fights are all without the TC buffs that we had in Hyper Engine's TB, such as the M defense buff, which clearly Scotty could use right now. That's what really made the red mages weakened. Ugh, I keep messing up on my combos. Well, alright then. I'll have one more fight and then I'll get to the content. So let's buff up. And let's start. Right, so that was the fight, or the fights. Alright, so as I mentioned, well, as I've been mentioning in the previous weeks, we've been working, well, not working, but speaking and negotiating with a developer that was going to develop our server's backend space, specifically the IOCP portion, which is a huge part of how the game will work and handle connections and whether or not it'll lag or not. A proper IOCP server will enable the server to handle connections and handle responding to connections and things like that without causing too much stress to the actual server. That being said, we'll be able to manage a bunch of clients quickly and efficiently. The original method that we were using when we first started developing the server was we were using a thread per client system, which basically each time a client was created or a client logged in, they would get their own thread made on the server. If anybody that's watching this is a developer or has developed anything, you'll know that that's highly inefficient. After a couple connections, it'll start to create a lot of issues. So IOCP was the answer to the 10K problem. You guys can Google that if you want. That people found quite efficient. So we've chosen to adopt that. Not only have we chosen to implement it, but we've decided to go with a really highly, I guess, a high quality framework. I'll talk more about that once it's completed. I can tell you that we have finished the legal and business side of it, so I think they're gonna actually start developing it on the 9th of this month, and they estimate that they'll have it finished by the 27th. So September 27th is when they finish coding it. Mind you, that does not mean that we're going to have our beta right on the 27th. I'm also not giving you an estimation or a date just so that no one's like, what the hell, why hasn't it started yet? After they finished coding it, we're going to need to implement it with some of the new content that we've made. We're going to have our elite testers test it for bugs and things like that. As well, we'll be testing it. This will also give us time to add some other content that we've been lacking, such as warehouses and trading and things like that. As well, we'll have to make sure that all the old content is working properly with the new server, but we'll get it all working nicely. I'm going to go ahead and log on to another character just so you guys don't see a red mage all through the video. Preferably my archer, as you know I like archers. Right, so that's not the only thing that I have to tell you this week. We've also been working, well, I've been working with the new piece of functionality for this week's update, which is upgrading. That's right. You can now upgrade equipment from level 1 to 10 on all equipment. That isn't just for level 12s. You can upgrade stats on items such as defense and defense against magic. Not only can you upgrade the stats, but you can give stats to items such as defense success rate, block rate, things like that. As of right now, not all the stats have their functionality coded because they do have lots of different stats. Strength has it coded, vitality has it coded, dexterity has it coded, defense and defense against magic has it coded. I believe critical rates have it coded, block rates have it coded. There's a couple things that we've already coded, a couple things that we haven't done yet, but we'll do later. They're not as important. Um, we've also introduced magics, divines, sorcery, red honors, and blue tiers, just so that we can test the updating. For updating purposes, or sorry, for development purposes and testing purposes, we've decided to not remove the gem or the item once it breaks or is successful, just so that we're not always having to re-add items to our inventory. But I mean, the functionality to delete an item is already there, um, so don't worry about that. I just realized I actually can't be on my archer because I put the gems on a different character, which was Scotty's BM, I believe. Right, they're right here. So, as you can see, this was the gear that I was testing the updates on. Something you might notice is that the upgrade functionality, the rates are a bit low. This was just for testing. We'll change that once we go live. They'll become more difficult and more realistic. I'm gonna go ahead and go to... Oh, I'm already in the Blue Mage Village, so I can buy all the equipment. So we'll buy... we already have a gown, we'll buy a sleeve. We'll also buy a cap. And then if we have enough room, we'll buy a sandal, which I'm not sure. Sort. Yep, there we go. Sorting gave us more room. So we'll just buy the highest level one. Something that we also kept to tradition from old HyperEngines TV that I actually did not remember, but Scotty managed to pull up pictures of HyperEngines TV where he proved to me that this did happen. Different items had different names depending on how many stats the item had. For example, an item with no stats had their base name, for example, Humble Cap or Humble Gown. But once you started adding stats to an item, if it had one or two stats, it would have the name Default Magic Item, which of course was just a localization issue on HyperEngine's part, so we made it Magic. Show you guys that after. And then once you entered into 3 or 4 stats, the item would either have the name Default Divine Item and then have the actual name of the item, or it would have a specific name for that item. For example, I have in my inventory a Providence garment or gown, I'm not sure which one it is, but it would use that name and then check if there's a specific name for that, and if it is, then give that. So for example, if the Providence garment is a legendary Providence garment once it has 3 or 4 stats, just like in old Turf Battles. I don't have a Hawkma staff on me, but once a Hawkma staff had 3 or 4 stats, it would be called a Holy Hawkma staff. Scotty proved this all to me in screenshots, so yeah. I'm going to go ahead and start statting the items. Remember that the items won't disappear, and neither will the gems, but the proper messages do show. So when a message shows that a stat was removed, actually stats are removing, double stats are removing, okay, I'll explain this completely. A sorcery gem will add 1 stat to an item, just like in old HyperEngines Turf Battles. It has a fail rate. If it fails, it has a chance to remove a stat. So I believe it's a 20% chance that I set it to, so that if it fails, there's another 20% chance that a random stat will be removed. Then a magic gem can either add 1 or 2 stats randomly. If it fails, it will remove 1 stat, or it has a chance to remove 1 stat, just like the sorcery. Again, it's a 20% chance. And both these gems are used to get the first and the second stat. Once you have to get a 3rd stat, they won't work anymore. Instead, you have to use a Divine Gem. Divine Gems only give 1 stat. They also have a fail rate, so it can remove a stat. Again, that's a 20% rate to remove a stat. And Divine Gems will be used for level stat 3 and 4 of an item. if you didn't know that already. These gems will not work on level 12 gear, so the fabulous set that I have here. Next we have Sephiroth gems. Sephiroth gems are used on items under level 11. They'll upgrade your stat by 1. They have a fail chance. If they fail, the item breaks and you lose the gem as well. Each item has its own save value. For example, a Fabula armor set has a safe value of less than level 4, so you can get to level 4 on the armor set without worrying about it breaking. The weapon is level 5, of course, just like an old Hyper Engines TV. Seems like I didn't put any stuff choices in here, but I'll test the stuff choices later. Sorry, I'm kind of tired. Next we have the blue tiers. I almost called that blue honors. The blue tiers and the red honors. Actually, that might be an interesting possibility for an update in the future, creating red tiers and blue honors. But anyways, so blue tiers and red honors will upgrade level 11 items. They don't work on anything under level 11 items. Blue tiers specifically only work on the weapons, and red honors specifically only work on the armor pieces, such as the armor of Embrace, helmet, sandal, and shields for other classes. In old turf battles, like I said, each item had its own stat name once it was a divine item, which is 3 or 4 stats. Rings were always default divine item and default magic item no matter what. So for this example, divine enchanted mask. And again, we didn't use default divine item. We used divine enchanted mask because clearly it was just a localization error on their part. And it just sounds stupid to say default divine item enchanted mask. Hopefully you guys agree with that. Alright, so we're gonna go ahead and start adding stats to items. We'll start with the under level 11 items. So we'll do this humble sleevelet first. Sorry about that. I ran into another issue, but it's fixed now. So as you can see, I added 1 stat that made it a magic item, so magic humble sleevelet. And then we're gonna go ahead and add another item with sorcery gems. And as you can see, the gem failed to add a stat to the item. Go ahead and add another one. The gem successfully added a stat to the item, so we got dexterity and defense. Cool. Next, we can't use magic gems or sorcery because the item already has 2 stats. As you can see, it doesn't work. So now we have to use divines. The gem failed to add an item. It did not remove a stat. The gem successfully added a stat, vitality. There we go, 4 stats, and it was actually pretty nice stats because we got dexterity. Well, aside from the dexterity, defense, vitality, and defense against magic on a sleevelet. So that's cool. We'll upgrade them after we add all the stats to them. And this time we're going to use magic gems just so hopefully you guys can see that sometimes it does add 2 stats. The gem failed to add an item. Sorry, my dog's in the room and I think somebody just got home. So defense against magic, vitality, strength. Gem failed. Dexterity. Not bad, not bad. So next we're gonna do the next sleevelet. Sorry, I forgot to use the magic gem there. Vitality. And there we go. Next we have the cap. So there's defense. We need to add that again. Strength. Vitality. Defense against magic. Okay. clearly I made a sizing issue for one of these items. They shouldn't be stacking like that. I'll fix that in the next update. Let me see if I can actually work it so that we can position them properly. It's because each item has its own size for the inventory and trade screens and booth screens and warehouse. So for example, the hat, any hat is 2x2. An armor piece is 5x3, I think. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, 5x3. And it looks like we made it 3x3 on the humble gown. Hopefully we can fix that real quick just so it doesn't cause a problem. We need more room. Crap, we need a little bit more room. There we go. Right. So, where were we? Do we have any items left to stat into? I think just the humble gown. Right, so let's add to the humble gown. And again, just like in... Oh, I was supposed to use a magic gem, sorry. Just like in old turf battles, each item has its own possible stats. For example, the gown has the possibility to get mana recovery, strength, vitality, dexterity, defense, and defense against magic. As opposed to a physical armor piece, which has the possibility to get, I think it's critical rate, strength, dexterity, vitality, defense, and defense against magic, of course. Alright, so we statted all those items. I'm surprised we didn't get a stat removed at all, or a double stat, but that's okay. The functionality is there. I guess the rates are just kind of low. Maybe I'll increase the rates, or maybe I'll leave it like that for now, and you guys can be the judge of it once the beta starts. Next, we're going to upgrade these stats. So SFGem will choose a random stat and give it an upgrade. I don't know which save value these items have. They're all really low level items, so. For some reason that's not upgrading. Might be because I'm lagging. Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and relog. I think I'm lagging on my side. Or my internet cut out. Oh. Alright, sorry about that. I actually realized that I had some functionality coded into the server for testing purposes that was causing an infinite loop on purpose, of course, just to test the upgrade rates that I forgot to remove. That's why the Sephiroth gem wasn't upgrading. It was because it was constantly upgrading on the server in a infinite while loop, if anybody knows what that is. So I had to restart the server, and of course that didn't save any of their information, so we're just going to go ahead and do everything again. So we need a sleevelet, and then a cap, and then we need a sandal. I'll just go through everything really fast this time. I'll use magic gems only. Okay, so that's all the magics. Now let's do divines. think that's it. And of course, you can't go over 4 stats. If you try, it just doesn't work. As you can see, they all still have 4 stats. So let's go ahead and upgrade them. We'll start with all the items down here. Congratulations, the item was successfully upgraded. And it went into strength. And it went into dexterity. And defense against magic. And dexterity again. And vitality. Dexterity. Vitality. Alright, so as you can see, it's working. It's going 3s. Now it's +4. I'm not sure what level this item is, but 5. 6. 7 dexterity. Seems like there might be an issue here. Seems like the fail rate of an item isn't being called yet. Oh, there it is. Right, so as I said at the start of the video, the upgrade rates are set really high right now, just for testing. As you can see, I just got the gem failed to upgrade the item. Both the gem and the item have been destroyed. And again, we're not deleting the item just so we don't have to keep purchasing more items while we're testing and things like that. But the functionality is already coded, so it's really no problem. Once it's completely done, we'll re-add that. So next we'll just quickly give stats, upgrade our stats for each of the other items. I'm not going to go until it breaks again for each item, but I'll just give it a good value. Good set of values, just so you guys can see. Not a gown. And now this sleevelet. Sorry if I'm moving kind of fast with the upgrades. I'm just hitting enter for each update. Right, so here we have a 4-2-3-3, a 3-3-3-3, a 4-2-3-4, a 8-6-7-7, 2-2-4-5. So clearly all those work. I can also upgrade the Providence Garment if I want. And again, we have high rates for testing. Don't worry too much about all the successes. It's not a problem. So that's done. I'm going to go ahead and sell some of my items just so I have some room to move things around. I don't need that, so that should be enough. Okay, so something else I wanted to show you is that the item is getting more defense and defense against magic every time we upgrade it. So for the gown, I'm going to put that on and show you guys my defense and my defense against magic, and then I'm going to upgrade each stat, and so you can see that it does work. So right now I have, let's write it down, 128 plus 668, and then 1500 plus 520. So let's go ahead and take it off and upgrade the defense and defense against magic. And it doesn't even have defense on this garb, so I guess we won't be seeing defense, but you'll see defense against magic. Let me just keep upgrading until I get a stat on defense against magic. This is a shit gown. Oh, there we go. Defense against magic. So, now we have 1500 plus 524, and if we look at our old value, which was 128 plus 668, and then 1500 plus 520, we have gone up by 4 defense against magic points for 1 level. So defense against magic between level 2 and 3. Something I want to note to you guys right now is that right now each level upgrade is giving the same values. So at level 1 you get +4, at level 2 you get +4, +5, +4. 6 plus 4, 7 plus 4. Something we realized in old turf battles was that that wasn't the case. Each stat gave different values depending on the level. For example, at level 1 it could give 4 to a stat, as opposed to at level 10 where it could give like 30 or something. We're going to change our system so it works like that as well. This will give us more customization room for each item and item set. It's a rather big update, just simply how it'll be reading everything and things like that. So I'm not sure when I'm going to find the time to do it, because it's not on the top of my priority list, but it will get done. No worries about that. Right, so now I'm going to try and find an item that already has defense, just so you guys can see that defense also goes up. So we'll use this cap. Right now it has level 4, and my defense while wearing the cap is 261 plus 780, 1500 plus 546. And now let's upgrade the item till it has defense. Oh, first try. Level 5 defense. So now I have 261 plus 780, 786. So my defense did go up. It went up by 6 points. So as you can see, upgrading an item does give you those stats. Upgrading does work. There is a fail opportunity. If it fails, the stat doesn't upgrade. Parts that we didn't add just for testing are just adding and removing the item depending on success or fail rate. Those are easy things to code. Not even to code, just to add, because they're already coded. And in the closing of the video, I'm going to upgrade the level 11 pieces. Looks like I already upgraded the fabulous stick in a previous update, in a previous testing. So I won't do that today, maybe on the next update if I have time, because I think this video is actually running kind of long. But I'll use the red honor on the level 1s. So this is level 1 fabulous leaflet. It's level 2, 3, 4, failed going to +5, +5, failed going to +6, failed going to +6, failed going to +6. There we go, I went to +6. And now I went to +7. Failed going to 8, failed going to 8, failed going to 8, and went to 8. Failed going to 9, failed to 9, failed to 9, failed to... Oh, it went to 9. That was kind of fast for a level 9. But like I said, the rates are set kind of high. And we'll try for 10. So level 10 is pretty hard, of course. In old turf battles, typically no one had a actual level 10 armor piece because it was so hard. There's level 10. I'm not going to +10 on all of them just because I don't want to waste your guys' time. I'll just upgrade them for a bit. That's +6. Failed and failed. We'll leave it at +6. Now the cap. +5. +5. +6. Sandal's already +9, so I won't worry about that. And then the fabulous stick was already upgraded by me previously, so I can't show you guys that. Something else I did was I set it so level 10 weapons and armors can't be, level 11 weapons and armors can't be upgraded past level 10, just so people aren't breaking them trying to go to +11, which actually doesn't have an upgrade value right now. So for example, if I use it on this fabulous leaflet, I'll get a message saying you can only upgrade the stat to level 10. If you guys want me to add a really, really low probability of it going past level 10, I can do that, but it wasn't like that in old turf battles, so I don't see why I would. The only items that could go past level 10 are under level 10 items. They had a very, 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 very small chance of going to increase their stat to level 11. It's my belief that they had the possibility of going to level 20, but the probability was either 0 or lower than could ever be reached. So that was this week's update. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I enjoyed making it. It's probably one of the more exciting functionalities for the game that we've made, simply because it helped mold the game into a feasible progression game. Um, it also opens up a bunch of possibilities for development, like developing the island system. Um, of course, I'm more concerned right now about finishing the monster system, which I've been putting off just because I've been lazy and I've been wanting to code new functionality as opposed to old functionality, and developing a great AI system requires time. Um, so this was this week's update. I wanted to give you guys the opportunity to sort of select updates for the future. So if you guys stay tuned on the forums, it won't be for the next update, but maybe the next update, I'll give you guys the opportunity to choose from a list of possible updates. So stay tuned on the forums, and I'll give you a voting system, a poll to do that. Next week, it's either going to be warehouses or trading or pets. I'm not too sure as to what I would like to do, but I think it'll be one of those three things. And hopefully I'll have more news about the IOCP, because it will have been started by at that point. On a side, actually I'll leave it at that. Because the video's getting kind of long. So thanks for watching. I'll see you guys all next week, and I hope you guys enjoyed the video.